Today is a very auspicious day. Yesterday we heard how Supreme Lord Shri Krishna appeared in Mathura with 4 hands, and he made a pastime of birth in Gokul Mahavan, in Vrindavan, to Nanda Maharaj Yashoda Devi. So today Nanda Maharaj is very happy to see that he got a son. When Vasudeva brought, at that time he did not see, because it was dark, and he was also not fully attentive, and also by Jogamaya, he could not see that Jashoda Devi gave birth to 2 children. One is Jogamaya, daughter, another was her son, Jashodanandan Krishna. And when Vasudeva came and brought that Krishna from Mathura, then that Krishna from Mathura merged inside that Krishna, but Vasudeva could not see this. He only saw one daughter, and he took that daughter to Mathura. So today, it is Nandotsav. Nanda Maharaj is very happy. Just I have to find. Maybe it is next chapter. Here first is how Kamsa now ordered that all children should be killed. Yes. Shukadev Goswami said, Nanda Maharaj was naturally very magnanimous, and when Lord Shri Krishna appeared as his son, he was overwhelmed by jubilation. Therefore, after bathing and purifying himself and dressing himself properly, he invited Brahmanas who knew how to recite Vedic mantras. After having these qualified Brahmanas recite auspicious Vedic hymns, he arranged to have the Vedic birth ceremony celebrated for his newborn child according to the rules and regulations, and he also arranged for worship of the demigods and forefathers. Nanda Maharaj gave 2 million cows, completely decorated with cloth and jewels, in charity to the Brahmanas. He also gave them 7 hills of grain, covered with jewels, and with cloth decorated with golden embroidery. O king, by the passing of time, land and other material possessions are purified. By bathing, the body is purified, and by being cleansed, unclean things are purified. By purificatory ceremonies, that is that samskara, birth is purified. By austerity, the senses are purified, and by worship and charity offered to the Brahmanas, material possessions are purified. By satisfaction, the mind is purified, and by self-realization or Krishna consciousness, the soul is purified. Soul is never contaminated in the sense that some material element can enter or like that. No. Impurity of soul means when she, by her own relative independence, by free will, she misuses that, not wanting to serve Krishna, but wanting to enjoy Maya. That is the impurity, disease of the soul. So, by self-realization, I belong to Krishna, I should serve him. The soul is purified. The Brahmanas recited auspicious Vedic hymns, which purify the environment by their vibration. The experts in reciting old histories like the Puranas. The experts in reciting the histories of royal families and general reciters all chanted, while singers sang, and many kinds of musical instruments like bheris and dundubis played in accompaniment. Brajapur, the residence of Nanda Maharaj, was fully decorated with varieties of festoons and flags, and in different places gates were made with varieties of flower garlands, pieces of cloth, and mango leaves. The courtyards, the gates near the roads, and everything within the rooms of the houses were perfectly swept and washed with water. The cows, the bulls, and the calves were thoroughly smeared with a mixture of turmeric and oil, mixed with varieties of minerals. Their heads were bedecked with peacock feathers, and they were garlanded and covered with cloth and golden ornaments. O King Parikshit, the cowherd man dressed very opulently with valuable ornaments and garments such as coats and turbans. Decorated in this way and carrying various presentations in their hands, they approached the house of Nanda Maharaj. The Gopi wives of the cowherd man were very pleased to hear that Mother Jashoda had given birth to a son, and they began to decorate themselves very nicely with proper dresses, ornaments, black ointment for the eyes, and so on. Their lotus-like faces, extraordinary beautiful, being decorated with saffron and newly grown kunkuma, the wives of the cowherd men hurried to the house of Mother Jashoda with presentations in their hands. Because of natural beauty, the wives had full hips and full breasts, which moved as they hurried along. In the ears of the gopis were brilliantly polished jeweled earrings, and from their necks hung metal lockets. Their hands were decorated with bangles, their dresses were of varied colors, and from their hair flowers fell onto the street like showers. Thus, while going to the house of Maharaj Nanda, the gopis, their earrings, breasts, and garlands moving, were brilliantly beautiful. Offering blessings to the newborn child, Krishna, the wives and daughters of the cowherd men said, "May you become the king of Braja and long maintain all its inhabitants." They sprinkled a mixture of turmeric powder, oil, and water upon the birthless Supreme Lord and offered their prayers. Now that the all-pervading, unlimited Lord Krishna, the master of the cosmic manifestation, had arrived within the estate of Maharaj Nanda, various types of musical instruments resounded to celebrate the great festival. In gladness, the cowherd men enjoyed the great festival by splashing one another's bodies with a mixture of curd, condensed milk, butter, and water. They threw butter on one another and smeared it on one another's bodies. The great-minded Maharaj Nanda gave clothing, ornaments, and cows in charity to the cowherd men in order to please Lord Vishnu, and thus he improved the condition of his own son in all respects. That is according to Varna Ashram Dharma. If you do properly, then Vishnu will be pleased. And Nanda Maharaj is saying, Krishna is my son. So if I do all this charity and all this, then it will be beneficial for my son. This is Braja Prem. Like our Gurudev told, Jashoda is thinking, if he will take food prepared by Radharani, then Krishna's lifespan will be increased. Then, if we go to Jashoda and tell her, Jashoda, you don't know, Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. What you are saying, you will increase his life, his eternal all this. Gurudev said, if we come, approach Jashoda with such mood to teach her, then we will be deprived of Braja Prem. We have to take shelter of Jashoda. They are having the highest type of Prem. They are seeing Krishna as son. And Nanda Maharaj also. So we should not come to Nanda Maharaj. Oh, Nanda Maharaj, what you are thinking this? If I give charity, then Vishnu will be pleased and it will be beneficial for your son. You don't know your son is Vishnu? Then we will be deprived of Krishna, means Braja Prem. He distributed charity to the Sutas, the Magadas, the Vandis, and men of all other professions, according to their educational qualifications, and satisfied everyone's desires. The most fortunate Rohini, the mother of Baladev, was honored by Nanda Maharaj and Jashoda, and thus she also dressed gorgeously and decorated herself with a necklace, a garland, and other ornaments. She was busy wandering here and there to receive the women who were guests at the festival. O Maharaj Parikshit, the home of Nanda Maharaj is eternally the abode of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his transcendental qualities, and is therefore always naturally endowed with the opulence of all wealth. Yet, beginning from Lord Krishna's appearance there, it became the place for the pastimes of the goddess of fortune. So this was the, or is, in some universe, now this festival of Nanda Maharaj is happening. There are innumerable material universes. So in one universe, Krishna is doing birth pastime, and when that finishes in that universe, in another already that will start. And here Nandotsav will start like this. So this is all the time going on, this Lila. So we are observing anniversary of this festival, and also now somewhere it is going on. So we are remembering and praying the grace of Nanda Maharaj and Jashoda Devi and all Brajavasis and Krishna to bestow service to their lotus feet. Today also, you know, is the appearance day of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, by whose grace we are hearing about Krishna. Without his grace, it would be impossible. He was the chosen by Mahaprabhu and Nityananda to bring this Krishna consciousness all over the world. And we are all indebted. We all came by this connection. Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, he got order from Mahaprabhu to preach. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, he expanded himself into his disciples, and through them he spread all over the world. So you know, Srila Sai Maharaj, he was born in a Vaishnava family, and since birth he was knowing about Krishna. They went to temple and he was doing Ratha Yatra as a child play and so many. He was in that environment. Then he also met Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and he felt his realized soul, Vaikuntha man. Not some sadhaka going up, but one who came down. And Prabhupada immediately told him, you will have to preach in English language. And a few times he told him. And Sai Maharaj also, when he was in Bombay as a householder, earning money, then he came to know that Prabhupada's health is not so good, so he wrote him one letter that I am unable to do any service for you, like my God brothers. So you please give me some order, otherwise my life will be useless. And Prabhupada wrote him back in written, you are knowledgeable in English, so you have to preach in English language all over the world. And then later, I'm just in short time telling to purify myself. If any one of you, now today many came, if any one of you would like to say something about him, you write here to me on chat, yes, I want, then you can speak when time will come, so that it does not become disorganized. So then his household ashram, he was a devotee all the time, serving, printing, magazine, preaching, everything. But then his household life became unfavorable. It was all by the will of Krishna. Then he left householder life and he went to Vrindavan doing bhajan. And then he took sannyas from Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj in Mathura. Srila Narayan Maharaj was priest. And then he was staying at Radha Damodar temple, writing, translating, and there he also got from within his heart, or there near the Samadhi, Pushpa Samadhi of Prabhupada, again inspiration that he has to go outside India to preach. So he consulted with God brothers also, and he came to our Parangurudev. You all heard. When our Gurudev heard that there is one disciple of Prabhupada staying in Radha Damodar temple, then he thought, he is naturally my object of respect. So I will go and meet him, I will bow down to him and pray for his grace. So Gurudev went to meet him in Radha Damodar temple, and Sai Maharaj was very affectionate, and he told him, I translated these books and also this magazine, you see how it is. He gave to our Gurudev to read, and Gurudev told it was very difficult to read because that Vrindavan press at those times, it was very indistinct printing, not so good quality. So Gurudev said it was difficult to read, but I was reading, and he told me I also translated some other works. So then our Gurudev told, now our Gurudev is here in Vrindavan Mat. Will you not meet him? Then Sai Maharaj said, yes, I will go and meet him. And next day he came. Then he entered the room of Parangurudev, and they were speaking, no one knows what, because no one was inside, for like half an hour. Then he came out, and when he was leaving on the gate, he called our Gurudev. Gurudev came to him, and he said, I have a desire to go outside India to preach. Will you go with me? Then Gurudev said, I remained silent, because one side is my Gurudev. He gave me so many responsibilities for mission. Chaitanya Gauriya Math, many works are undone. I am secretary. And he is also this God brother of my Gurudev, disciple of Prabhupada. He is requesting me. So what I can do? Then he remained silent. And then after some time he said, now it is impossible for me to go, because I have so much seva to do here in the mat. And then Gurudev told that Sai Maharaj was disappointed. And Gurudev said, I committed offense to him. He was disappointed, and he was trying to get someone but could not find. Then ultimately he went alone, but he was not alone. He was directly communicating with Krishna. If you see his diary there, he wrote many songs, and also when he came to America, then he also prayed there to Krishna with full surrender. So he was fully empowered by Krishna. Srila Sridhar Maharaj also told it happened in that boat, ship, Jaladuta. Jaladuta means water messenger. So he fully surrendered, and he got that full empowerment. Srila Sridhar Maharaj says a Shakti Aveshavatar. What he did, it is impossible unless being specially empowered by Nityananda Prabhu for such mass preaching and Krishna, it is impossible. And his songs, they show this. So then he started, and gradually it was going like fire, spreading everywhere. And in all continents, all places, everywhere he went, he was awakening sleeping souls to Krishna consciousness by his own devotion. If one has devotion, real devotion, then he can inspire that in others. Otherwise it is impossible. Awakened soul can awake other sleeping souls. And they were giving up all these sinful activities. They were so much engrossed, especially in America, the hippies and all these, all sinful activities doing, but he changed them. So also one reporter, he asked Swami Maharaj, you are coming from India, we know the yogis there, and they're coming and they're doing some miracles, they are materializing things like the mystical powers. So you are also having some mystic power, you can show, like you will make watch appear or something, and this, he said. Then Swami Maharaj, you don't see my mystical power, you don't see? You see these people, they were fully sinful. Now they gave up and they became devotees of Krishna. You don't see this mystical power? What is the use of those other things? This is actually real. So then he was preaching everywhere, and his disciples also he empowered. They also went, and book distribution started on large scale, and many temples and Ratha Yatras and everything. And then in India also, it is a Srila Sridhar Maharaj was a miracle what he did. And our Gurudev also said, amazing. It is wonderful what he did. Being empowered, and our Gurudev liked to quote sometimes his some teachings are saying that that boy said, I don't believe in God. Then Sai Maharaj said, who has given you the power to say, I don't believe in God? And those who don't believe in God, they are full number one. And about those two verses from Gita, when one is enlightened by the knowledge by which ignorance is destroyed, then his knowledge will reveal everything. Like sun lights up everything during daytime. Here, this Gurudev explained, here this knowledge is not intellectual knowledge. It is when Krishna descends, revelation. Then darkness is removed. And like when sun comes up, he will reveal himself and also all other objects in proper perspective. So when one submits to Krishna and Krishna descends, then he will see Krishna and himself and everyone else in proper perspective. This verse Gurudev liked to say. And another one also, 1 second. Where is that? One second. Yes. Same from Bhagavad Gita. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting and it is joyfully performed. We would like to say this. And especially he emphasized this, that you have to have direct perception by realization, not only by reading books and like this, but you have to directly realize by following this process of Bhakti Yoga. And he inspired many his disciples when our Gurudev went to America and he heard his Harikathas. So everyone knows, everyone appreciates what he did. And also I got this fortune. I was hearing since young age because my mother was playing his recordings in the house. But later on, in 98, I became inspired to read Bhagavad Gita as it is. So when I was reading, it was very good and everything was like, I would confirm everything, yes, approve. Everything what was written, natural approval was coming automatically. Then also teaching of Lord Chaitanya. And then I found one cassette, that tape. And I put, and there was one class of Sai Maharaj. And I liked how he spoke about Krishna. I felt this is even better than reading in books. So then I desired, I want to meet such person from whom I can hear about Krishna like he's speaking. And there in that Harikatha, Sai Maharaj told, later I found it on internet also, that in this world, train is going on 2 tracks to reach destination. But to reach Goloka, there are 3 tracks. I misunderstood it, but maybe it was by the will of Krishna. Later on, I saw in that Harikatha that he was saying Sadhu Shastra Guru. So then he translated saintly person and Shastra means scripture and Guru, spiritual master or guide. But I heard at that time that one has to be sincere. Like saintly person, one has to be, that is necessary, saintly person. But I heard sincere person. So I thought, okay, I'm sincere. One condition, okay. Then Shastra, another condition, I thought, yes, I read Bhagavad Gita and the teaching of Lord Chaitanya. And the third condition was you need a spiritual guide. Then I thought I don't have spiritual guide. Then I thought, then I can take my mother as spiritual guide. She knows everything. So then also it happened just a few months before she was initiated by Gurudev, also by the grace of Sai Maharaj. And then also it started to happen in my life also that certain arrangements were made by Krishna. And then I also met Gurudev soon after that, because I accepted in my heart that spiritual guide is necessary. And also I had this strong desire. I really want to hear about Krishna from someone like him, like he's explaining. And really, when I met Gurudev, first he showed that he's omniscient. He was asking, how is your travel? I said, very long. I was in complaining mood. Then Guru said, everything happens by the will of Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. When I heard this from Gurudev, then I felt he knows Krishna personally. And all my troubles, everything went away. So then I saw in Gurudev, he's doing everything for Krishna, actually. It was different than what I experienced before. So then, later on, whenever I would, on such days, like Sai Maharaj appearance, or in India, his Samadhi, or Samditi, whenever I used to pray to Sai Maharaj, always he approved, means that you are with your Gurudev. So he was always like, this is for you. This is, means he was fully supporting this, always. So I always tell that it is by his grace that I could meet Gurudev, and also always he was like keeping me there or approving, yes, this is for you. So it is like this happening. And his teaching, Srila Sai Maharaj teaching is very simple. Chant Hare Krishna and be happy. It sounds like very simple, but it is actual truth. But here it means real chanting. Chanting Hare Krishna means real Radha Krishna Mahamantra. If you chant, means with surrender, with faith, that pure name, then you can actually be happy. Otherwise it is not possible. Jiva cannot be happy unless she is in her natural function, as per her constitutional position. If she misuses her relative independence, then it is impossible that she will have peace and happiness. Impossible. So only in the service of Krishna, Jiva can be happy. So his philosophy, is teaching is very simple. He came to tell this to everyone. Chant Hare Krishna means real chanting, pure chanting, and be happy. And by the grace of such real Vaishnavas, it is possible. By their mercy, our heart can become attracted to Krishna and his service only by such devotees. It is not enough that someone will speak some theory and logic and Shastra and everything. Unless he himself is a real devotee engaged in the service of Krishna always, he is unable to inspire others. But he inspired so many. So it is proved. Of course, when he was there, all were up, all were lifted. And then again, when such pure devotee lives, then that enthusiasm and that is going down. But then again, next wave is coming, some other pure devotee is coming like this. Some may be raised immediately and they will be stable. But because in Western countries we are having some more enjoying tendency and sinful this background, so it takes some more time to come to some stable level. But what is done is good. Step by step, we have to be uplifted, and ultimately they are taking us back home, back to Godhead. Means that is our real home. There is no problem there, only absolute bliss. Sai Maharaj told, yes, life is about enjoyment. Yes, it is true. But you don't know how to actually enjoy. That is the problem. Because we object, no, life is, why I will restriction and all this? Life is about enjoyment. Otherwise, what is the point? He said, yes, life is about enjoyment, definitely. But you don't know how to really enjoy. That real enjoyment means that transcendental bliss in the service of Krishna, by which all these other sorts of happiness like liberation or any type of material enjoyment in heavenly planets, in this world, everywhere, looks like nothing in front of that. So this sort of enjoyment he came to give, to inform us and to give the service of Radha Krishna in Goloka. So on today's day, it is his appearance day, anniversary, and also in some fortunate devotee's heart he may appear. It is not impossible. Guru is eternal, Vaishnava is eternal, pure devotee, personal associate of Krishna is eternal. If you pray, he can appear. So on today's day, I bow down to him and pray his causeless mercy. If really someone comes in contact with him, actual contact, at any time or any place, then automatically, naturally it will happen. You will be inspired to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That is the grace of your devotee. So now my mother wants to speak. Yes.
Hare Krishna Nandotsav. I also came in contact with Krishna through Swami Maharaj, and it was in 1988 when I got Bhagavad Gita as it is, and I came to know about Krishna through his book, and I also understand that Swami Maharaj blessed me to come in contact with my Gurudev, because few months ago, before Gurudev came, I had a dream, and in a dream I asked Swami Maharaj, I asked him, will I also become a devotee like all these your devotees like this? And he said, yes. Yes, you will get first initiation, second initiation, and you can wear white sari. This is what he said to me. He actually take care of me for 10 years. 10 years I was practicing Bhakti Yoga without Gurudev, so-called, without, because I was serving in my own way. I went many times to ISKCON, every Sunday feast. I met a lot of seva in different ISKCON temples, in different countries also. And I had a lot of realizations during these 10 years. And some mystical things also. I was very, very, very much connected to Swami Maharaj, very much. And when Gurudev came after a few months, after this dream, I actually felt first time in my life. I listened to so many Maharajas from ISKCON, his disciples, his sannyasis. But I was so much in Swami Maharaj that for me it was a big difference when they were preaching, speaking, or when I was reading Swami Maharaj's books. Actually, whenever I would open the book and read these books, actually I always heard his voice. Every time, whatever I was reading, I didn't read. I was listening to him, like he's preaching to me. So when our Gurudev came, I first time in my life heard Swami Maharaj through speaking of my Gurudev. This was amazing. This was something new for me. I was so much surprised that I heard, I just felt, oh, he is speaking the same as Swami Maharaj. Immediately I felt that he must be the same, from the same place, or from, or it was like it was Swami Maharaj speak to me. And I actually, immediately when our Gurudev came, immediately I start to behave different. Also, devotees said that they would see that this is my Gurudev, but I didn't know. But actually, I know that I came in contact with our Gurudev, with my Gurudev, by the blessings of Swami Maharaj. And I'm very grateful for this. And I'm very grateful to him that he took care of me for 10 years. And finally, I believe that I got the necessary sukriti, which I accumulated through serving devotees from ISKCON and Swami Maharaj, so that I would be, I was able to finally surrender to our Gurudev, because from the first day when I started to read Bhagavad Gita and until our Gurudev came, I was always praying to Krishna to have a Gurudev like him. I never, I could not accept any less. So at the end, after there was no one like him, I just surrendered to Krishna and said, okay, if I cannot have such a guru now, then please, I was praying to Krishna, please let me serve Swami Maharaj in my next life. But it looks like it was time for me, and that's why Swami Maharaj told me in his dream that I will be devotee in this life. So I'm very grateful to him, and I pray to his lotus feet to arrange when I come back to Krishna Loka. I want to meet him too.
Yes, Shamarani, you can speak.
I was wondering how to put the microphone. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear.
Okay, Namam Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prastaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine, Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Shatarine. Jai Prabhupada. Yeah, I'd just like to relate a little bit about my relationship with Srila Prabhupada, my experience with him. I came in contact with Srila Prabhupada's books through my mother, and she used to read Krishna book to me. And then when I first went to New Mayapur and saw the deities, I was so happy to meet finally Krishna and Balaram after hearing their pastimes. I had a dream the first day I arrived in New Mayapur. I had a dream of Srila Prabhupada. It was 6 months after Srila Prabhupada had left. And the devotees were still in great separation of Srila Prabhupada, and they were talking about him all the time, glorifying him. So I could see Srila Prabhupada through their eyes, through their moods of separation. And Srila Prabhupada's radiance was still present. Everything was so, it was like a different era. Devotees so dedicated and kirtan so ecstatic. And I remember when the deities opening and the Govindam prayers coming really loud, and there was a cloud of incense coming out of the altar, and all devotees had flower petals, and they were throwing it on the deities like Pushpanjali every morning for deity greetings. Then on my first day there, I had a dream of Srila Prabhupada. I was actually visiting the castle. I continued to visit the castle in my dream, walking from room to room and just interested in the castle, visiting. I had done it that day, and I continued in my dream. And then I opened the door, and Srila Prabhupada was behind a low table, and he motioned with his hand, a gesture, like come. And so I came closer, and he kept doing come, until I was right next to him, and I sat down next to him, and he put his hand on my head. And then I didn't hear his word, but in my heart I heard like, welcome home. And I really felt that I had been traveling for millions of years. I was so tired. I didn't have an easy childhood, so I felt like at last I felt home. I had met my father, and all was well. Like, you can be here fine, no problem, welcome home. And every morning our teacher used to wake us up with Srila Prabhupada singing. And up to today, whenever I hear Srila Prabhupada's singing and his words, his voice, for me is the greatest shelter of all. And whenever I've had like bereavements, lost like very dear family members, for example, then whenever I've had great griefs, I just put Srila Prabhupada singing and all is well. I just feel supreme shelter there. And then I think it was in 86 when my initiating spiritual master left. Then it took so many years actually before I finally felt that I needed another guide, and I had the desire to meet a spiritual master, a real authentic, pure Uttama Vaishnavacharya. Before that, I was thinking, no. Srila Prabhupada is my spiritual master, and I took full shelter of him, and he really guided me. And then I met Srila Gurudev in 2012. And then when I saw him, this is another glorification, but I just felt in my heart that is it. But still, when I went back to Vrindavan, it was Srila Bhaktivedanta Sarasvati Thakur's Avirbhava. And I was in Krishna Balaram in Vrindavan, and I went in front of Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati and I asked him, because ISKCON says the different families, the same Mahaprabhu's Chaitanya tree, but it's kind of uncles, it's not completely the same in-close family. That's what I had heard, so I asked, is it okay? And then I had confirmation, like darshan of Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati, and then I went, oh, and then I went to Srila Prabhupada, and the same happened. And this Srila Prabhupada giving me his darshan there, and then at that moment, and he in his eyes there was so much urgency, such a very determined, yes, you must, and with such an urgency, like it was urgent, quick. And I, of course, not a blink of a speck of dust of doubt. By then I was 100% confirmation. But since then, I always remember this moment with Srila Prabhupada. And that is a connection that I have with him. And yes, he's my eternal father long. And then when I first met Srila Gurudev, when I came to him and he gave me some Mahaprasad in my hand with all the devotees, one by one, we came to him. And he said to me, a bit like what Srila Prabhupada had told me, I felt the same sensation. He said, you have no need to go here, there, and everywhere. Everything you need is here in the Bhajan Kutir of my Gurudev. Everything you will find it here. Just stay here. So it was a bit the same. Like no need to go here, there, and everywhere. Welcome, just stay here, your home here. So I just thank Srila Prabhupada for giving me his darshan and telling me, yes, you must now take shelter of Srila Gurudev. Jai Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for sharing this. Yes, I also always, when I was praying, then I always felt, I'm happy if you are with your Gurudev. Means always putting me in. But it is all connected by His grace and like this. So today time is, but if any of other devotees, anyone wants to share something, then tomorrow or some other day, you just let me know and you can speak if you will want. Today we will finish here, and Jai Shri Nandotsav ki Jai, and Jai Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj ki Jai.